Coming up on Bear News, senior students take their final steps towards graduation.
And a presidential candidate brings her campaign to Colorado.
Thank you so much for tuning into Bear News Live. I'm Trey Croft.
And I'm Gavin Burlack.
It's that time of the year for students who plan to graduate this spring. The University Center hosted a graduation fair last Wednesday and Thursday for students to order their gown, class rings, and to take pictures with their UNC pride. If you didn't have time to stop by the graduation fair, you can still order your gown and other regalia online at hjgradwalk.com/UNCO. Now you have to order all regalia by April 2nd. If you have any questions, please contact the registrar's office located at Campus Commons. As week 7 of spring semester progresses, students get ready for midterms. Reporter Wilhelmina Jackson tells us how tutoring services are helping students prepare.
With midterms approaching, Tutorial Services hosted a study night in the UC next to the food court. Tutors were available in specific areas of study, such as the natural health and sciences, social sciences, math, and business. All tutors receive ongoing training and certification to keep up with the academic needs of students. Tutorial Services also has study sessions in the library Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. and on Sundays from 6 to 8 p.m. If you need support in a subject not listed, there is tutoring in other courses like American Sign Language, psychology, physics, and even French. For a full list, visit the Tutoring Services website at unco.edu.
To set up an appointment with the tutor, visit Tutorial Services in Michener Library in room L149.
Let's now take a look at the Campus Commons and the newest, priciest building here at UNC. Depending on who you ask, it's a crown jewel on campus or an expensive luxury we couldn't afford. So was it worth it? Madison Burns takes a look at the issues.
Art, pie, theater. There really is something for everybody here at the Campus Commons.
I like it a lot better because we're more centralized. You don't have to, we're not as separated, from the bottom floor all the way up to the top floor.
Along with computer labs, seating areas, and administrative offices, the Commons are home to some of UNC's biggest attractions. The Performance Hall can sit over 600 people and is equipped with the state-of-the-art theater technology. Students, faculty, and visiting talent perform weekly. My personal favorite, the Pie Cafe, serves a variety of delicious pies inspired from various countries. Each pie is made from scratch daily. The art gallery is currently home to the Yucca Fountain, a restoration of a 1950s atomic soda fountain.
It's easier to ask colleagues, hey, what's going on, that kind of thing.
But do students take advantage of it?
I thought it was more for show than actually thinking about the consequences of what the building will have.
I'm here at the Campus Commons. Opening nearly a year ago, is considered a central hub for students and host of campus events. It also cost nearly $73 million to construct. So where did all the money come from?
Because obviously since this building is here, tuition has gone up.
Nearly $40 million came from state-issued funds and another 23 or so from bonds. Those are long-term loans used to fund campus construction. Another $8 million came from donations. Students also help pay. A capital fee is used specifically for campus projects, is added into tuitions, and costs nearly $800 a year, although that number could increase. So it looks bad that among raising tuition and layoffs, so much was spent on a building, although a lot of the loans and donations can only be used for campus construction and can't be used to pay teachers or improve benefits. Reporting from UNC at the Campus Commons, I'm Madison Burns, Bear News.
That is a tall price to pay, but it might be worth it for all those pies, though. You may have received an email today that was sent out by the Vice President of Student Affairs at UNC, Dr. Katrina Rodriguez. The email summarizes the past couple weeks of conversations and revelations that happened due to the university's reorganization and thanks students for their input. In the email, Rodriguez includes the link to a website that contains letters sent to the staff and faculty, which include general information, division-specific timelines, and details about the Administrative Service Center implementation. If you didn't receive the email, the URL is on the screen, and we will post the link on our Facebook page as well. Rodriguez encourages participation in the conversations and asks if you have any questions to let her know. So below we have also supplied her email in case you do want to reach out. We encourage students to keep informed and involved as the situation progresses, so go check it out. Coming up after the break, we go inside the presidential rally for Elizabeth Warren that took place in Colorado.
And we have a follow-up to our coronavirus from a few weeks ago. Stay tuned.
Kids!
I don't want to talk about it.
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 Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency.
Kids, you all right?
This family's prepared. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan. Go to nyc.gov/readyny or call 311 for more information.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
It took 2 days, but when Nevada Democrats released the final numbers, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders was the big winner in Saturday's caucuses. Sanders far outpaced second-place finisher Joe Biden, winning nearly 47% of the vote to Biden's 20%. That meant Sanders also won the lion's share of Nevada's 36 delegates, picking up 24 to Biden's 9. Third place went to former Fort Wayne, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg, who took 14% of the vote and received 3 delegates. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren finished 4th with just under 10% of the vote. California environmentalist Tom Steyer and Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar rounded out the major candidates, each picking up less than 5% of the vote. Neither Warren, Steyer, nor Klobuchar picked up any delegates. So where do things stand in the delegate race after Nevada? Sanders is the clear leader with 45, followed by Buttigieg with 25 and Biden with 15. Warren and Klobuchar trail with 8 and 7 delegates, respectively. The 4th warm-up primary takes place Saturday in South Carolina. Then the big prize, Super Tuesday, when more than 1,300 delegates are up for grabs in 14 states on Tuesday, March 3rd. And Colorado is one of those states, awarding 67 pledged delegates next Tuesday.
It's important for college students across America to keep up with the 2020 elections. That's why Bear News has a scoop on a candidate who came to Colorado last weekend. About 4,000 attendees braved the snow to attend Senator Elizabeth Warren's campaign rally at the Fillmore Auditorium in Denver Sunday afternoon. Colorado has been a popular spot for presidential candidates this week. Senator Bernie Sanders, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, and President Donald Trump also hosted rallies to try and round up support before Super Tuesday. Colorado State Senators Kerry Donovan and Julie Gonzalez showed their support for Warren by addressing the crowd before the senator took the stage. Despite coming in 4th in the Nevada caucuses this weekend, Warren made it clear that she's not giving up on the presidential race. After a strong performance at the most recent Democratic debate, she raised $9 million in campaign contributions in less than a week. She asked the Denver crowd to continue the momentum by contributing. Warren told stories of her life from her family's financial struggles in Oklahoma to her journey of becoming a public school special education teacher. She said that everything in her life has led up to her running for president and her goal of working towards big structural change. Warren is one of the least experienced of the presidential candidates, but that doesn't stop her from having lots of plans. As expressed by one of her campaign slogans, Warren has a plan for that. She discussed her detailed plans for issues like immigration, gun control, climate change, healthcare, and more.
Starting on day one, I will do things a president can do, I love saying this, all by herself.
Warren answered 5 audience questions before leaving the event to head to South Carolina for Saturday's primary. For more information about Warren and her plans, go to elizabethwarren.com. Valentine's Day officially come and went a couple of weeks ago, giving some wallets a break before the anniversary rolls around. In the midst of all the Valentine's Day planning and spending, one Northern Colorado chain put their company wallet towards helping the community. The famous Dutch Bros chain kept busy during its annual Dutch Love charity event on Valentine's Day. This event is just one of many that the chain hosts each year, all with the goal of giving back to the community.
So Drink One Per Day is a day where we donate all proceeds to ALS research. We also have Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We raise a lot of money for them. And then we have Buck for Kids Day. And basically that one, we donate the proceeds to Boys and Girls Club of Weld County and our local communities around here.
For Dutch Love, $1 from each drink purchased is set aside to fight food insecurity in the community.
Totally. So today's actually one of our big give back days throughout the year. Today's all about just giving back to our community. And something that I'm very passionate about is our ability to establish connections with our customers and our coworkers in a way that creates amazing relationships with them.
The Northern Colorado Dutch Bros franchise raised over $5,300 between all 4 stands. For Dutch employees, the local charity events are just one of the things that make this job less like, well, a job.
Oh yeah, a big part of the job since they started the company it's been about charity and giving back to the community, and that's the biggest part of it. You have great relationships with everybody, not just the people I work with, but the customers and everything. It's just a good time overall. It's never too serious. It's just fun.
My favorite part about working here is it's a fun job. It's not work. The stuff we do here is very easy. It's mostly about the people that are here. I've met so many people just through this job, and it's just really fun.
If you want to learn more about the Dutch Bros history, as well as other philanthropic events and opportunities coming up, you can find it all on DutchBros.com.
If you're keeping up with the news, you know coronavirus cases are increasing daily. Bear News reporter Asia Cuevas is here to give you an update on the virus and tell you everything you need to know.
The coronavirus is still making headlines every day, and the amount of cases being confirmed is escalating with each passing day, leaving many cities under lockdown. The coronavirus has spread to 37 countries, and the number of cases is now over 80,000. The number of deaths caused by the virus has passed 2,700 as of February 26th. Of more than the 80,000 cases worldwide, U.S. officials confirmed there are 57 cases in the States, majority of them being U.S. citizens that were aboard the Diamond Princess cruise ship. According to the CDC, it is no longer a question of if the coronavirus will spread in the U.S., but more of a question of when. While there is still no cure for the coronavirus, the best way to combat any virus is by practicing good hygiene habits, such as washing your hands. Reporting for Bear News, I'm Asia Cuevas.
Thanks for the update, Asia. And remember, Bears, there are still no cases of the coronavirus on campus. If you want updates about the coronavirus on campus, visit unc.edu/Student Health Center for more information. Most people never know what we're going to get weather-wise here in Northern Colorado. Thankfully, we have a meteorologist who does. Weather is on the other side of this break.
And we introduce you to a student continuing the heritage of art in her family. See you after this.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We had this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Score going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride.
Wait, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
But I need that back.
No.
Kevin!
The bitter cold gave way to some pleasant weather this week and one absurdly windy day.
And to let us know what's coming our way next, we turn things over to our resident weather predictor, Mackenzie Lake.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Mackenzie Lake, and taking a look at our current UNC conditions right now, we do see we have lots of sunshine, just a little bit of patchiness of snow on the ground, and we can see someone out there enjoying those nice warm temperatures, and he looks like he's out there playing Frisbee with his dog, and I am so jealous. Looking on into all across Greeley, we do have a high of 49 degrees with sunshine, lots of sunshine today, and a low of 24. We do need to keep an eye out for those winds though, because they will be coming in from the southwest at about 13 to 24 miles per hour, which will make that high feel a lot chillier than it really is. Looking on across all of Colorado today, we see we do have Denver, Grand Junction, and Durango all around the same area. They are going to be about mid-40s to high 40-degree temperatures. Then we do see Pueblo with a high of 53, and that Colorado Springs area with a high of 31. Looking on into your class schedule for tomorrow, at your 8 a.m. class, you can expect to see temperatures of a bone-chilling 28 degrees. So if you're like me, find the biggest coat you can and bundle up before going to those classes. Looking on into 10 a.m., the temperature will increase a lot to 40 degrees, and moving on into 12 and 2 p.m., those temperatures will stay right around 50 to mid-50s, and moving on into 4 p.m., temperatures are going to slowly decrease throughout the rest of the day. And looking on into the weekend, on Saturday, we will have partly cloudy skies with a high of 59 and a low of 30. And on Sunday, we will have an 80% chance of rain and 80% chance of rain-snow mixture, which will bring our high to 52 degrees and a low in the mid-20s. And on Monday, that snow will continue all the way through Monday morning, bringing us a very, very chilly high of 38 degrees and a low of 20 degrees. And if you do want to stay updated on all of Colorado's crazy weather, go ahead and give me a follow on my Twitter at Mackenzie_Lake, and on my Instagram on Mackenzie_Lake_. And that's all I have for weather. Back to you guys.
With how fast technology is moving today, we can only imagine what the future might be like.
But until then, we had Bear News reporter John Warner ask students if they would rather have a completely automated home or a self-driving car.
A self-automated home, for sure. Why? Because then you don't have to do your laundry. I hate doing laundry and dishes and cleaning.
Honestly, just a self-driving car. I mean, lesser of the two evils, am I right?
Probably a self-driving car. I don't know. It seems a lot cooler than a self-automated home and hackers. You could be in your home or your car. I'd prefer it in your car if they hacked it.
Self-automated home. Why is that? Because I'm a car guy, so I would much rather have control over my car because that's what I love.
Probably a self-driving car. I think it'd be easier to have a car that drives its own because you don't have to sit there and drive long distances. You know, you could sleep or you could do homework in it if you're in a rush or something. Yeah.
Probably self
like the home, like the self-automated home, because just don't really trust the cars. It just kind of feels weird to me, like letting something else drive. I don't even like when other people drive me, so I wouldn't be cool if like a robot car did it. So.
Self-driving car.
Why?
I'm not the best driver. So, and if it would help me with parking, that would be great.
A self-automated home. I don't know, because with the idea of a self-driving car, I mean, there's a lot of issues. I mean, we're already trying to make an electric car, and that's not really going well. Versus a self-automated home, like I could just sit in my bed and be like, lights, turn on, or oven, start cooking. I don't know. It just seems seems like a big lazy boy dream.
I'd rather have a self-automated home because self-driving cars scare me a little bit. So the home I feel would be safer.
Self-driving car.
And why is that?
I just got the sauce, man. I mean, driving around in a Tesla, I'm not sure if you can beat that one.
Self-driving car. I'm so scared of driving, so it'd make it a little easier.
If you have a question you would like us to ask around campus, just submit it to one of our social media pages.
UNC is home to many talented artists, and Bear News reporter Asia Cuevas sat down with art minor Katie Garcia to hear about her experience as a painter and designer on campus.
When Katie Garcia sits down, her creativity starts to rise. Katie attributes her passion for art to growing up in an artistic household.
We've all just been really encouraged to be creative and let whatever outlet we have and use it.
Her grandmother was a painter and played a very big role in Katie's artistry.
So my grandma was actually a painter. She continues to paint, mostly landscapes, but they're oh so pretty.
For Katie, inspiration for her next piece can come at any time.
2 a.m. is probably my favorite time to do anything sort of creative.
Or from anything.
Sometimes just sitting in front of a blank piece of paper or like just kind of looking at some of the scraps I have left from some of my other art projects kind of just makes something click.
For Katie, art is what she wants it to be.
In all honesty, a lot of my art is just for myself, like letting my brain just run rampant.
And as for her audience,
if people end up liking it, that's a bonus.
Katie's latest art installment was a sculpture she worked on with other UNC artists that looked like what she described as a giant shark, similar to Bruce from Finding Nemo. Katie is working on other projects that she will release in the future.
Bears Sports has had a full week of highlights, lowlights, wins and losses, and, well, everything in between.
And whatever that in between might be, our returned sports anchor Matt Jenkins has it all after this break.
Jeff Foxworthy here. You know, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Well, thing is, there's a lot more to say. Like if you've ever found yourself burning yard debris and then walking away, well, you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I had something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
2
Down in Colorado Springs last weekend, the UNC track and field teams got a final tune-up at the Air Force Collegiate Open. The team saw this as the last chance to practice their stuff before the Big Sky Championships, which started today and run through Saturday. Starting with the women, the Bears got 2 top 5 performances for the Big Sky Conference. Sophomore Anna Turner was third in high jump with a height of 1.5 meters, and sophomore Mariella Hollins placed fourth in the triple jump with a distance of 10.6 meters. The men also had some top 5 performances. McKee Reed had 2 placements for both his triple jump and long jump. Sophomore Greg Leday finished first in the 60 meters dash, which moved him to 9th place overall in the Big Sky. And finally, a shout out to freshman Elias Evans, who set a new personal record in pole vaulting. He cleared the bar in 4.65 meters and is now ranked 12th overall in the Big Sky. As I mentioned, the Bears are already started in the Big Sky Championships. With numbers they had last weekend, UNC is expected to place well. And to the Diamond, the Bears softball team hoped they could turn things around at the Cardinal Classic, but unfortunately they did not. Their first game against St. John's was more of a shootout than anything else. The Bears made the first move when Alyssa Wenzel singled down the left field line, bringing in Lauren Strathern from second. But St. John's came back to tie the game in the third off a UNC fielding error. That left Strathern to deliver a clutch hit up the middle to bring in 2 more runs, and the Bears wouldn't find another hit until the 6th inning as they loaded the bases with just 1 out. Wenzel knocked a double to left field to score another 2 runs. In the middle of the 6th inning, the Bears were up 8-3, but the Red Storm mounted a comeback, scoring an extra 4 runs. And with no one able to score in the 7th, the Bears took the win 8-7 over St. John's. But the rest of the Cardinal Classic was anything but classic. The Bears lost back-to-back games to Lamar 5-4 and 4-1, and then the Bears lost back-to-back games against St. John's 3-2 and 12-5. Now the Bears have another lineup of games to play in Albuquerque before they play their first home game. UNC matches up against South Dakota, New Mexico, and LaSalle in the Susan Craig Classic, and that starts tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. The UNC women's tennis now. On to UNC women's tennis now. This week, the team couldn't bring in the same tenacity and skill they showed last week. The Bears lost their first big meet against University of Idaho 6-1. It was the 4th home competition for the women at the Parker Racquetball Club. Senior Sabrina Chabra was the only player to win her match against Idaho. She won the first set 6-4, but her opponent matched that score in the second set. It was a battle of endurance going into the 3rd set, but Chabra won it 6-1 and won her match overall. Seeing the Bears lose the meet to the Vandals 6-1 might seem like a blowout, but those numbers don't tell the full story. Many of the Bears went into the 3rd sets, including Milena Beljanovich and Sinclair Larson. Head coach Chad Stoloff said that he's proud of the fight that UNC put up and said the day was filled with the great matches all around. Next up for women's tennis is to face off against Creighton this Saturday. And we're going to go back to the Diamond, but this time for the boys. They had a hard time in the Diamond this week against New Mexico. In the 3-game series against the Lobos, the Bears started strong on Friday's game. The Bears lost 7-6 despite an impressive performance. In the 9th inning, the score was 7-3, and the Bears loaded the bases for Sam Leach, who hit a triple that scored the 3 runs and narrowed the score to 7-6. And that's where it ended. The Bears couldn't finish the comeback, and the score stayed at 7-6. Sunday brought more disappointment as the Bears slowly slipped and handed the next 2 games over to the Lobos. The first game was close as the Bears lost by a single run again, 3-2. And on Sunday afternoon, there was one more shot for Northern Colorado to notch a win against the Lobos. But this one ended up being the worst, the Lobos winning 9-0. The teams originally planned to play a game on Saturday, but the rain had other ideas, meaning they had to play 2 on Sunday. This weekend, UNC takes its 2-5 record to the road for a 3-game series at Boise State. And we're going to take it over to the court for women's basketball as they came short this week against Southern Utah and Idaho State. In the first quarter, the Bears shot a respectable 41%, but Southern Utah still had the lead by 1. In the second quarter, the Thunderbirds kept the Bears' offense to a minimum, and the Bears only scored 12 points, while Southern Utah went to work scoring 18, which expanded their halftime lead to 7. UNC showed some signs of life in the second half, limiting the Thunderbirds to only 27 points. But the Bears' offense couldn't find its footing as they dropped their second to Southern Utah this season. And the hard times just continued to roll for the Bears as they also had a rough outing this past Saturday at the bank as they tipped off against the Bengals. The Bears struggled in the first quarter, shooting 14% from the field and totaling only 7 points. In the second, the Bears found more room to shoot, scoring 13 points from 33% shooting, but Idaho State still had the lead by 10 at half. And coming out of half, the Bears scored 20 points in the third, but the Bengals didn't slow down. Shooting an impressive 64% from the field, Idaho State still had outscored the Bears by 5 heading into the final act. The Bears just couldn't get on the right track as in the fourth, Idaho State ran away, leaving the Bears with a 2-game losing streak. And the Bears are now in Moscow, Idaho to square off against the Vandals. That game is tonight at 7 p.m., and you can watch it on Pluto TV. Now we're going to take it to the men's basketball team. And sports fans were on the edge of their seats as the men's basketball team faced off against Southern Utah last Thursday. UNC maintained its lead during the first half, putting up 37 points to Southern Utah's 23. But after halftime, Southern Utah came back with vengeance. The Bears led by 1 point with 12 minutes remaining with help of Trent Harris and Bodie Hume making shots at key moments during the game. Southern Utah and Northern Colorado were tied at 64 in the final minute, and with barely 6 seconds left in the game, it was Hume who sank the three-pointer to put UNC in position to win. And after free throws from each team, the Bears won 68-66 and put smiles on all fans' faces.
I think they're doing great. I think they're having a great season. I try to come to every home game possible. Yes.
Everybody gets the ball goes in rotation, and everybody just like has fun doing it. It looks like they're having fun.
And then the Bears traveled to Idaho State in hopes they could extend their win streak to 4. And that hope became a reality as they came out shooting strong. In the first half, the Bears shot an impressive 72% from the field, going 21 for 29. And going into half leading by 13, the Bears didn't look back. The game ended 85-72 in favor of your Bears, and UNC hosts 2 games later this week. Tonight, playing Idaho at 7 p.m. and Eastern Washington at 7 p.m. on Saturday in their last home game of the season. And if you can't make it to the Bank of Colorado Arena, make sure you can watch it on Pluto TV, or you can listen in on 13 KFKA. And Trey, Gavin, I know I'm pretty excited for this Saturday's matchup as we're sending 3 seniors away, and we're 1 win away from the 3rd consecutive 20-win season. So shout out to those Bears.
Yeah, shout out to the Bears. They're doing so great so far this semester, huh?
Yeah, good work. That does it for our show this week. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Make sure that you follow us on all our social media and reach out if you have any ideas for stories. And as always, have a wonderful weekend.